Hello and welcome to the More Cheese Less Whiskers.com podcast. My name is Dean Jackson, and today we're talking with Monique DeBose. Now, you are in for a treat if you like music and jazz music particularly. Monique has a wonderful jazz album that's on the debuted on the iTunes charts at number 2 in the jazz category. And she's in LA and hoping to brainstorm some ideas around making her music dreams come true here. And so we had a really great discussion. I really enjoyed it. We talked a lot about how the importance of getting people to know you and then to like you and then to trust you. And by trust in this context, meaning that they're going to trust that they will have a good experience, that they come to see her perform or they buy her album, that they trust that I'm going to like this. So we talked a lot about some modeling of ways that this has been done in other situations and how to really take a approach to starting in her local market, to start to kind of lay the foundation here. And we had lots of really great conversations around and ideas around different ways of distributing or who else might be interested in sponsoring or participating in an event like this. So I think you're really going to enjoy this episode. There's a lot of parallel things, no matter what your performance is. You know, we mentioned it's the same way in a lot of ways for what I do. I mentioned how, I go on tour each summer. I go to Toronto and London and Amsterdam and LA and Sydney. And I am able to do small events like this because people know me, like me, and trust me from all the time that we get to spend on podcasts like this. So I think you're really going to enjoy this episode. Here you go. There she is.
Hello. Is that
Monique,
better?
how are you? Yes, it is much better.
I'm good. How are you? Just
I'm
ready,
so good.
Excited.
You are? How do I pronounce your last name?
DeBose. Like
DeBose.
the speakers.
Okay, just like it is.
More
DeBose.
Z sound.
Monique
DeBose.
DeBose. Okay, perfect. Well, it's nice to get to talk to you. Rich has been telling me all the cool stuff that you're up to. So I'm excited to kind of brainstorm and talk it all through with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So can you kind of tell me the story to kind of set it up to where we are right now and kind of what you're looking to do, what the outcome you're hoping for is?
Sure. And before I actually dive in, there were two paths I felt like I could go down on this call with you today.
Okay.
The artist performance, Monique DeBose brand, and then also the healer, coach, and kind of building that brand. I think Rich asked Rich about it, and I was like, what do you think I should do? And he was like, which one feels more fun? And I was like, oh, the artist. That'll be more interesting.
That's what I'm excited about too. Yeah. So let's do that. Okay, and maybe we could do another one with your with that. But I would love to.
Cool.
That's what I'm excited about talking about too. So maybe kind of fill me in on your growth as an artist here, or where we're at.
Sure. So as I'm pretty sure Rich told you, I think maybe he had emailed it to you. I just released my third album project after a long hiatus of giving birth to two other amazing projects, my two sons. And so it debuted at number 2 on the iTunes Jazz chart. I released it independently in September. So I've been doing a lot of what feels like piecemeal and learning how to really step into getting the most out of relationships I have. I've also created a one-woman show that has traveled both, to New York and LA and has had real success in both markets.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking this year to get it into other markets, smaller places within the United States and even internationally.
Yeah.
Um, so that is something I'm doing. I feel like I would love to get a handle on what my brand is and how to actually find my people. Because right
Mm.
now I feel like I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing
I
what
get
sticks.
it. Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
And it
So
feels stressful and it takes me out of my artistry pretty much most of the time.
isn't that amazing? It's true, right? Like, but that's the thing is artists who are, you truly embrace that and are amazing, and that's where you shine. That you're suddenly kind of expected to now be also a marketer and have to figure all that stuff out, and it's really,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. I understand the struggle because they're almost two completely different mindsets, or personalities. So that's, but there's something here. There's something about this idea of being able to detach yourself from Monique DeBose, the brand and the artist, and do something that is supporting of that. So how does it work right now? What would be, um, how would you state like kind of the state of your career right now, what you're actually doing as an artist, and what you're aspiring to? What would be like a dream come true for you if you could have anything?
Well, if I could have anything, what I could see is me doing beautiful interactive concerts in gorgeous halls where people, it's an intergenerational experience where parents who are 70-year-old people, with adult children who are in their late 30s, 40s, and their children even could come and be in this field. My whole thing is about creating a field and an experience so that people's nervous systems expand. I know that's
Mm,
really crazy talk in some way for some people, but what I'm really trying to do in part of my path as an artist and any other title I take is um, creating spaces for people to have authentic experiences, to actually feel deeper than they feel comfortable, and to really hold them in that space. So creating beautiful music, a beautiful interactive experience where people leave feeling like, oh my God, I know Monique. Wasn't it so funny when she told us about how her son spilled flour all over the kitchen floor? Like, I really
uh,
want people to feel like they know me.
uh-huh.
And I want people to feel like I am, and this is going to sound funny, but um, maybe more like a guide through like direct modeling of someone living an authentic real life.
Mm,
Because I am not the like most amazing singer in the world, and that's not my shtick. My shtick um, is really being a real human following dreams. So that's a
I
big piece
gotcha.
of what I do. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And comma, you're a pretty amazing singer too. So there's that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, that's
And the quality is stellar. Yeah.
yes,
I will
it
never
really
put on a
is.
crappy show. I
Right.
will
I
never
mean,
do that.
I think you're downplaying it a little bit coming out.
That's been part of
Right now
my
you're the
trouble right now. So there you go.
I get it. No, I get it. Um, so how does that look in terms of like how often would you like to do um those type of shows? How, if you could like pick your calendar, how often would you like to do those, and where would you like to do them, and how would it, like, would you like to go on tour with that, or would you like to
So,
do
yes, if I could have it any way I want with these two small
yeah.
children right now, I would love during the months that they're in school, I would love to be doing maybe no, 2 to 3, that's real, 2 to 3 performances each month. But they're not just like, oh, hey, she's at the local bar. Like they are curated, like well marketed,
Yeah.
concerts that
Events.
really create, events. So doing that, they could be anywhere in the world. Ideally, in the summer months when the little people are not in school or tied down so much, I would be happy to travel more extensively and have more gigs. But again, it's the quality and caliber. And I'm also looking at, or I haven't looked at it, but a vision, ideal scene is doing performances that aren't necessarily like, hey, anybody can get a ticket to this. It's like really, people are like, I would love to have Monique and her band in our space, like our like phenomenal living room, or create a concert just for our people.
Yeah,
so those
I get it.
are also part of it. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So, is there um, is there kind of a monetary goal for these, or is it really
Yes, I
about?
mean,
Okay.
ideally, I mean, it's both. But
Uh-huh.
I one thing for sure is I do not want to be the sole producer and investor anymore. Like I'm putting on a show right now, getting the engine started, and
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm definitely going to be in the red from this whole. The red is the bad part, right?
Right. The red's the.
Yeah.
We don't want to be in the red. Nobody wants to be in the
Yeah,
red. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm definitely in the red, and I don't see right now how it can actually even move to the black, and that's just something I've decided has to be okay. It's an investment. But yes, ideally these shows, allow me to travel well, sleep well,
Yeah.
and actually make a great chunk of change so that the musicians are consistent and want to stay involved with me.
Right.
So they're paid well. So
Uh-huh.
ideally, like maybe they're making like $1,000 each show.
Uh-huh.
And for me, like I feel like it's probably like at least a minimum of like $15,000 to $20,000 engagement.
Okay. And that is, is there a kind of model for that of?
I have no idea. You asked me to dream, and I'm like really
Oh
good at
no, this is
dreaming.
great. And I don't know whether but this is great because it's something to reverse engineer, right? So you're looking at
Yeah.
that at the end of the day, how many people in your band,
You just
when.
made me actually think too, like at the beginning, I actually would be 100% fine with every band member, which is probably drums, bass, piano, guitar, sax. So there's probably 5 people.
Yeah.
And then I would be happy to come home with $5,000 from a show for
Uh-huh.
Monique to put in my bank account.
Right. Perfect. Okay, so that makes sense now. That's like you can reverse engineer that, right? That we start with what that actually looks like. And that is, believe it or not, that's part of the thing of being able to create a plan for it, is being able to get clear on what that actually looks like. So is
Yeah.
there a model? Have you done that before? Is there any situations where that's been what's happened? Are you able to do that kind of
Not yet, but I've
show
never
now?
actually tried.
Okay. So
So
what?
with my show now, yes, I have. I'm in conversation with 6 different theater companies about the show, and
Uh-huh.
what I've asked for is a minimum of $3,000, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously travel and uh, like accommodation,
Yeah,
and
per
then
diem and that.
$3,000 for payment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that is as far as I've gotten. I have one show booked. The money is not $3,000,
Mm-hmm.
but it's, I don't even know what the booking person said. It's probably like $1,000.
Right.
That's what
Okay.
I've got right now.
Yeah. And that kind of thing, like when you look at it now, part of it is going to be that the more, the more people who know you, the more, sort of famous you become, the better that's going to be for you, generally. And so now it's really a math kind of situation, right? That it's really
A
about
what?
a math situation. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the number
Yeah.
of people, when you look at a some different models of kind of introducing yourself to new people. Is there any kind of, you said earlier on, my people, that these are my people, is what, who would be on your people's playlists right now that maybe don't know you, but you would fit right in? Like who's that? Who is your person?
Right. So when I say these people are kind of out of date, and I actually have somebody helping me right now find out who these people are, like their equivalent and current people.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, what comes to mind is Sade.
Mm-hmm.
What comes to mind is Jill Scott. And those are the two of the types of people that I would
Mm-hmm.
see as
Mm-hmm.
part of this kind of feel.
Mm-hmm. And you realize, like, how, I mean, I remember exactly Sade in 1984. That was the peak of it all, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and then, um, I guess she kind of disappeared, right? And now she comes
Right.
back to do some performances and stuff like that. But okay, that's great. And that she's still very well known. I mean, everybody play her songs and her music, and everybody knows, kind of thing. That's who
Well, a
that
lot of
is.
people who are like 25 actually are starting to like miss the boat on that one. But yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, that they don't know. So there's, but that's not to say that there aren't plenty of people who are my age that were big Sade fans, So it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to be that it's the 25-year-olds now, because there's way more 50-year-olds plus, right?
Yeah, and that's really what I mean. As I like objectively listen to this album, it's adult music.
Yes.
It's music with people who have like lived experiences and
Yeah.
who have been beaten up in some ways, and they're like back
Uh-huh.
up, like you have bruises, and just I mean
Yes.
from life and just in general, learn. So and it's deep feeling music. So
Uh-huh.
those are my people. I feel like they are adults. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they have children, or they at least have the age where they would have children if that was something they wanted. They've
Mm-hmm.
had careers.
Mm-hmm.
They have aging parents. Yeah, so they have disposable income, or I mean, they're not starting out in life.
Right. So let me ask you, how do you go about getting your music out to new people now? What's kind of your strategy, or have you gotten advice, or um, is there within the music industry what the strategy would be to get in front of new people?
So some of the advice I've gotten is up your social media presence, like
Yeah.
social media, social media, social
Mm-hmm.
media. So
Mm-hmm.
I've started working on being consistent with putting out social media posts at least twice a week, and I'm upping that. But that's where I started. I have
Mm-hmm.
somebody helping me with figuring out like apps to like get more people to like real people to start
Mm-hmm.
following me and that kind of. So that piece
Mm-hmm.
is happening. I mean, obviously doing more performances is an obvious no-brainer.
All right.
It's an expense. It's an expense that I have to measure sometimes, because like I'm putting on a show now where there are comp tickets. Nobody needs to pay to come in for this
Mm-hmm.
performance, and I'm spending well over like $1,000 myself to put the
Mm-hmm.
show up.
Mm-hmm.
So that can't happen, three
But
times a
that,
week or three
I
times a
mean,
month.
but maybe it could if that was packaged as an experience that you had a sponsor for or something, that's
Sure.
yeah, like you
I
look
get
at
that.
that kind of thing as an opportunity there. So I was thinking about because I'm really an observer of the music industry. I kind of like watching how things unfold there. And
Mhm.
I start to see things how, um, there's been a couple of really like standout situations that I got to observe. There's a uh, group called Boyce Avenue. Have you heard about them?
Voice Avenue? No.
Boyce, Boyce, Boyce Avenue. Um,
Boyce. Okay. Uh-huh.
yeah, so check them out on YouTube. They started out. This is how they built this empire. I mean, they've got one of the top channels on YouTube now. They have, they're doing more than $5 million a year from their YouTube channel, and it's powering them going on tour and being artists. But what they started out doing, they're here in Florida, is they started out doing stripped down cover versions of the songs that are popular you know on the charts right now, and they did a sort of nice production value, but simple production value of the video of it. And the lead singer, has a really great he's got a really nice tone to his voice, and
Yep.
so they would do sort of acoustic, or he would either be on the piano or playing the guitar, and they would be stripped down versions of these songs. The one that where he first showed up on my radar was years ago. One Direction had a song called "You Don't Know You're Beautiful" that was like a big
Okay.
hit on the radio. You probably
You don't know
remember
you're beautiful. Yeah.
that one, exactly. So
Uh-huh.
that was like a upbeat, upbeat like pop song that was all over the radio. And of course, all the One Directioners are like rabid about it. But what I noticed about the pattern, um, well, I'll tell you what they did first. So they did a very a slowed down, stripped down guitar version of that song with a slightly different arrangement, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like magical. It was really well done. And I think that then I started noticing the pattern that they would do is they would take these songs that were like, right at the peak kind of thing, and right when you get sort of when a hit song kind of comes and it's at its peak, and it's you're looking forward to it being on the radio, and you hear it, and then it reaches the point where it's just at the tipping point and you're like, okay, I like it, but I've heard it a lot now. And
Mm-hmm.
then here comes this new version of that with this slightly novel approach to it. And all of a sudden, you're re in love with the song again, because you hear
Mm-hmm.
this new version of it and you start to think, wow, that guy's really good. Who is that? And now you're into their world and you go to their site and you see, oh, look at this. They did this song, and they did Ed Sheeran, and they did Taylor Swift, and they did this one, and they did Oasis, and all these other songs that they had broken down like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then as they're building that audience, then what they were able to do was build and work in original songs that they had. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that's really an interesting thing, because the reality of the way we're wired is that we're not really looking for new music. We're looking, when we're scanning the radio or doing the things, we're looking for the songs we like, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's just the way we're attracted. We're not kind of seeking out new music. Generally, we listen to what's on the presented. And I thought again about why a show like American Idol is so successful is it's all they're doing cover songs, right? A different version of the songs, all the way that you're falling in love with the artist and their ability, and then they've built this fan base, and now they can introduce the new material, the new songs. And by the time they're done and have won the show, when their album comes out, you're already big fans. You know them, you like them, you love their voice, and you trust that they're going to put out an album because they've chosen, if they've done it right, songs that give you a representation of what they're going to be, you know? And then if the album is like that, it's great. And I started seeing that playing out again and again, of people doing that similar model where you can slide in on somebody's love for Ed Sheeran or Taylor Swift or One Direction or whatever, and introduce yourself to them by meeting them where they are, kind of thing, you know? Now,
Yeah, I like that.
you think about how that, especially with jazz, it's been there's such a great songbook, of historical stuff, right? That is to draw from. And you look at, Rod Stewart basically reinvented himself, right? Doing the sort of
Great American Songbook.
the Great American Songbook, exactly. That he actually sold more albums of that than in his entire career before that, and he was already one of the top selling artists ever. So it's kind of an interesting thing that, and you're 3 albums in now of all originals, or do you do
no
covers? Or
first album was all originals. Second album was covers with few originals, and this album is all originals. And the second one had some jazz like standards on it.
Right. Yeah. And so it's an interesting thing, like, as I look about what's going to fuel your ability to do these shows is your ability to draw people who know you, like you, and want to be with you, have that audience of the things. And that's why somebody like Boyce Avenue can go on tour and have a amazing sellout tour, because they have millions of YouTube fans, subscribers that are
right
there. And why somebody comes out of American Idol and has a #1 album, because they've got a built-in audience there. So part of any of this dream is going to have to be driven by the number of people who know you, like you, and want to spend time with you. As far as going, it's difficult to sell tickets to a new artist when they don't have an experience of you, kind of thing. That's an uphill battle. Or have you found that to be true?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering though, as you say that, I'm just wondering about, like, do I need to like get a guitarist over here and like start recording some like nice videos?
I think that would be a really great
of other people's music.
I think that would be maybe a really great opportunity for you to take that kind of social media approach to it, right? Like, there's an interesting thing. Like, I say I'm an observer because I love seeing the models and how things work. And I watched a movie recently, again, that was a movie from a few years ago called Killing Bono. And it was about this, they U2. It was about U2 and this other
Mhm.
high school group that started up at the same time in Dublin. They all went to school together. And at the time,
Mhm.
the other band was the better band. And U2 was basically the second best band in Dublin and
Mhm.
went on to become, the biggest band in the world. But
Mhm.
the thing about the interesting thing of it is that we're in a society right now where the cream definitely gets to rise to the top. There's no lid on keeping anybody down. There's no middleman anymore. It used to be like
Right.
in the old days, you had to be discovered and get signed as an artist to a label who would then have all the thing to get you on the radio, which was the only outlet to the world, right? Or get you on the TV shows and publicity and all that stuff. But now
Right.
you've got the opportunity to go direct, no middleman, right to your own audience and for free, really. I mean, it's amazing that way. And you can also, if you have the some budget for it, you can amplify that reach to specifically and exactly the people who you are trying to attract. And so, what I would look at perhaps doing is, picking an area like right around you, even, or somewhere, um, that would maybe be because there's some interest in travel in someone who's come from afar in a kind of thing. Like you're right in the hotbed of that everybody is there in LA, right? So um, what would be where are you? Where do you do some of your performing right now? Like where would if we were to have a heat map of the Monique DeBose
It would be very
footprint?
cold. It would be very cold, first off, because I just put the album out in September and am starting to do shows now. So the
Okay.
first show that's on the books is in Santa Monica at the end of this month.
Okay.
And I have a goal before this month is over to have 2 more shows booked in the next couple months. So I would say Santa Monica. I would say like West Adams, Los Angeles. I might say those are probably some places I would probably say first. And then also there's a place that is Herb Alpert's club called Vibrato, and I've made some contact and started a conversation with their booking manager. So that would be, a different part of Los Angeles, but
Mm-hmm. And
and you're just reminding me, I just made connections with the man who used to be in charge of LA's grand performances. And so maybe I could check in with him about possibly getting back on that roster for live shows sponsored by the city. I don't know.
mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of an interesting thing, right? That now there's like you can, if I take it at that micro level of building an audience, that one of the things you could do is, you know, target specifically the right people just in Santa Monica, for instance, right? That you
Mm-hmm.
could just have um, focus all of that just on reaching Santa Monica and building awareness. Like the first thing that we have to get to is that people know that you exist, that they know you,
Yes.
that you're a name
Yeah.
that they've heard, right? And that when they listen, just even for one song or half a song or something in their news feed or in their Instagram, that that they like you, right? Oh, that's great. And that's
Right.
where what's really the most interesting thing when I talk about um, the covers or about songs that are familiar is that they don't it's difficult to put everything together and gauge whether they like something um, when it's new and they don't have any frame of reference for it, right? Like you don't know where it's going, or you don't know, maybe they like the tone of your voice, they like the sound of the music, but it's a little awkward when you're listening to new music for the first time because you don't know how it's going to go. And one of the advantages of doing a stylized or slightly different arrangement or something of a very um, well-known song is that you've got the advantage that will keep them interested, keep them engaged because they like that song. Oh, I love that song.
Right.
And now they've got a context for how that song is supposed to sound. And if you're now doing a version of it that is, honoring of the original, but it's uniquely novel, and they get a chance to see, wow, I really like her. She's great, because you're great in the context of you're doing a great job with a song that they already love. Right. So you come in as
Yeah.
just like a seasoning, different flavor of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that awareness of you is going to build now for, oh yeah, I really like her. I like her. And over a little bit of time, you start to kind of build that audience of people
Right.
who know you, like you, and trust you. And trust you, by
Yeah.
trust you, I mean that they trust that they're going to enjoy their evening if they go and spend the time with you. Other than
Yeah.
if they don't know what to expect, then it's that. I mean, you know who struggles with that, and you almost feel bad for these legacy artists, like somebody like Sade. It would be very difficult, even in a concert now, if Sade is going to be able to fill a concert because she's Sade, because we all love her from the 80s, right? But if we go to that concert, what we're looking for is for her to play that music, right? And
totally right.
The balance is that it would be so difficult if she comes in and doesn't, anchor to that, but is only interested in playing the new material. It's a difficult,
right. We would not be happy. Yeah.
It's a difficult experience, right? So there's that to it, but I think, you look at it, it's very economical and compact to build this audience specifically around where you might be performing. And I imagine it would be even easier just kind of outside of LA, like to go to, Santa Barbara, or to go to Orange County, or to go to Calabasas, or those kind of markets where there might be the perfect kind of venue for it.
Well, funny enough, I'm actually going to Santa Barbara next weekend to sing 2 of my songs with my co-writers, because they're part of an event, and they said, "Oh,
Nice.
come sing some of the music." So, but yeah, I just love that you said that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be there anyway, and I'll check out the place.
Yeah, but that's kind of neat, like, in Montecito or in Santa Barbara, that there's those kinds of things are, if you start building kind of an audience ahead of time where you're going to be performing, you've got the opportunity to then kind of radiate out from there as you grow, right? As you want to go to other places. Like if you're going to go to New York or go to London, or, you can do that same thing where you don't have to be globally known. You don't have to be globally famous to fill a venue in a club in New York or in London or whatever. If you are focused just even in that area, there's that opportunity. I do these events that are 3 days, small group, 12, 14 people. And I travel each year. I go and I do a little summer tour where I go to Toronto, London, Amsterdam, LA, and Sydney. and I have audiences in those places, so that all I have to do is say, hey, I'm coming to London. Here are the dates. Would you like to join us? And I'm able to sell out those events because I've got a group of people who know me, like me, trust me, and would want to spend those 3 days with me. It would be very
How?
difficult to go into that without that,
Yes. And how would I, like, what are like some actual things I could do? So real world example,
Yeah.
I've got this February 26th show that doesn't cost anything to come, but I know that's really not, that's probably one of the smallest factors at this point.
Right.
How do I get Santa Monica to know me in these next 25 days?
Yeah.
At least to start building that energy.
Sure. So I think that part of it is you may even take your music video, you have a great video for that I saw. You have that great video. That would be the fastest thing that you could do, is put, a couple $100 towards running that for exposure to just the people who you would say would be the ideal audience, right? Like if you take a radius right around where the show's going to be and you pick the right people, if you pick the age and the demographic kind of makeup, or whether they like certain um, artists that you might be, I mentioned who would be, who would you sit alongside the playlist of, and so you start to think about, there are lots of people within a 20-mile radius of the club where you're going to be who are, whatever the right age group would be. And you could test different age groups. You could test the younger versus the older. You could split it, say, 25 to 35, you go 35 to 55, you go 55 plus, and see who's interacting more with it, who resonates with it. You could pick people who like certain artists, that the people who like Sade, who like this, who like, start making this profile of the ideal person that you would like to have out there. And you could do a video ad to get in front of those people and build an audience of people who watch the videos, so you can retarget them for the show that's coming up.
And by all of this, I'm assuming you haven't said it, but you're saying like through Facebook
and Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram. Okay.
Yep. And that, I just think that if you look at the, I think it would be pretty neat for you to have, if you have a small even venue where you could just do pop-up performances or something, but it's all completely only for the purpose of streaming it live to Facebook, to just like come in and play a song or two, or whatever. It's almost like Daryl Hall, does these live from Daryl's place videos that were really popular. People, guests pop by and they'd sing, and record everything and play it out live. But that, I think, might be a really good way of becoming, like we say, if you're going to be the number one band in the world, you got to become the number one band in Dublin, it's easy to, when you constrain yourself to a certain thing, that all the people in the zip codes or in Santa Monica that like the artists that most align with who you are, that they all know you and you are in their world,
Yeah. I do know. That's great. Yeah.
Because that's really,
I
then you
will do
don't,
that.
then you
I'll
don't
do
have
that.
to worry about going to all the other places. Go to where you want to perform and build an audience, because it's not like people from, uh, Poughkeepsie are going to be traveling to LA to come see you
Right.
yet.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And then the other things that you might want to look at is that audience of people. You attract a type of audience that is different than perhaps other artists would. That
Sure.
you're attracting people who, what brands or what um, people would be excited to align with you on that way. To have, like, even if you talked about, um, a vineyard or something. Who does, some very famous jazz festival is basically it's a, alcohol brand that runs the festival. Like, they're looking for content, for evenings that they could have events for their clients, um, or would love to sponsor your tour or sponsor your event series in LA. If you have a context for it, you're basically
Mm-hmm.
providing content that would be um, valuable for them to align with.
Right.
And
So
that's
that actually, I don't actually have any information on that yet because
mhm,
I have no idea. But
right.
I
Well, that's
understand
part
what
of
you're
the thing
saying.
of thinking like a marketer, then, right? Like, that's the thing about it, is that you have the opportunity to package your own stuff, like, there's nobody stopping you doing anything. And you look at what, let's look at Sharon Osbourne, for example, putting
Uh huh.
Ozfest together as this big festival that also happens to headline Ozzy Osbourne. That it was a vehicle for him, but also was a wildly profitable event, um, to bring in other bands. So
Yeah.
if you're thinking about, there's probably other artists like you who are having this same thought. How can I just get exposure, right? How can I create these events? So if you start thinking about sort of non-traditional um, distribution models, where you kind of
Mm-hmm.
think like the Chicken Soup for the Soul books.
Mm-hmm.
The part of the success of that was that they were selling in places where books weren't normally sold. It wasn't that was the model of it taking off. They were independent, self-published, and they've sold hundreds of millions of books.
And what do you mean when you say they were selling books in places that
Like, they were
people
selling
didn't?
books in hair salons and in
Oh, I see.
right, like, all these places where books were talked about, but it wasn't like just the bookstore. um or you start thinking about things like, what I mentioned about Ozfest, or
Mm-hmm.
um the the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, was
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Foxworthy and those guys putting that together, banding together to create a bigger event than what just one person is doing. But you think
Right.
about all the things that music, and if you get right down to it, the artistry of music is one thing, but the money from music comes from what the environment of it is around. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I heard there's a great guy, Ralph Murphy is the guy's name. He's the ASCAP. ambassador, songwriter ambassador, and he helps people with songwriting. And he's saying that there's a difference between a song that works at 10:30 at night and a song that works on the radio at 7:30 in the morning. And the business of radio, the business of music is about the radio station needs the song to keep Nancy on the station till the car dealership ad comes on at the end of the song at 7:30 while she's in the carpool, right? And that's why they play hit songs, so that people, they don't jump off the station looking for something that they know and want to listen to, right? And the really interesting thing about the way he thinks about it is to acknowledge that in a way, right? Like, think about what is the business of this? Like, how the environment that the music is going to be in. How can you think about the person who's ultimately the stakeholder here, right? Like, if you play at a club, if a club is paying you an appearance fee to do this, or a promoter or somebody is doing that, what drives that, where that money is coming from, is either ticket sales or the venue knowing that that's going to bring people who are going to buy food and alcohol or whatever. There's money coming around it. Anytime that money is being played in public, it's brought to you by somebody who's turning that attention into money.
Got it. Turning that attention into money.
That's what's happening. I mean, the whole reason radio is free is because they get you to listen to that radio station, and the car dealership ad comes on right after your favorite song. And then the next ad and the next ad, because they tell you coming up this song. So you're paying attention. You're listening to the ads to get to the free song that's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Now, and the reason that people are paying bands or performers to come and play in their club is because it's going to draw people to the bar or to the club or to the restaurant, so that they're going to spend money. It's all about the economics of it,
So when you say all of this, then it has me like, yeah, you definitely have to think outside the box, Monique. You're a new artist in a lot of people's eyes.
Yes.
You don't have any real appeals yet. I mean, you may be talented, and there are a lot of talented people. Like, what is the actual appeal? So, how can I turn the music, make it attractive?
Yes.
What environment does it need to live in, or what can I create around it? Yeah.
Yes. And that's the opportunity that then you get to do what you love to do, which is to actually perform the music, right? That's really the thing. Like, if we could wave that magic wand for you, is you would just be booked 2 to 3 times a month to go fly in. Everything's all set up. You do your performing, and then you leave in a limo and get on your jet and fly back to your home. That's what you're really, that would be the dream come true, right? But that's going to be on the heels of that. There's money being made somewhere. The money has to come from somewhere. And the hipper you can get to that's really what it is, that's where you can create opportunities to make that happen, Like, if you look at a club that, and I say non-traditional things, like thinking outside the box. If you're thinking like what would traditionally be thought of as like a Friday and Saturday night thing, if there was some way to create something that could be like Tuesday night jazz, or there's some venue, something that's helping them create an environment around your music that's going to increase the revenue that they're making, you know?
Right.
Do you perform at places typically where where it's a restaurant or bar or lounge or something
I
like
have
that?
done that. Yeah, I have done that. This gig on the 26th is at a bar, and it's
Mm-hmm.
actually at 5:30, which is why there's no like cover charge.
Right.
And I'm doing that on purpose too. Like I chose to do it
Yeah.
early so that I can invite people who
Yeah.
are influencers or in the business, so they're not
Yes.
waiting to hear me at 7 or 9 o'clock at night because they want to
And
be home in
that's
their bed.
right, exactly. And that's great. And as that's built now, they're like, then it's going to be the main event that at some point, now they know you, they like you, they love you, and they'll go anywhere to hear you, right? That's really how we want to get. But that's going to require that the more people know you. So when you look at it right now, if we're starting at the um, baseline here. We start with where you are. How many people do you have an email address for that you could send a message to directly right now?
About 2,000.
Okay, then that's a good start. So are they geographically?
I would say probably like maybe 30% are local.
Okay, and are
It
they
might be
tagged
more
that
than
way?
that.
That are they tagged that you
No,
would be
I'm
able
I'm
to?
I'm terrible at that.
Ah,
Do not
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
do not have that skill set right now in terms of
I
like
gotcha.
MailChimp. I just have a huge list, and I haven't ever really spent time organizing it, which
Okay.
needs to happen.
Well, we need to get you switched over to GoGo clients so that you
What's
can
it called?
build gogoclients.com. So it's like the email thing that you would use for MailChimp, but it's a CRM and you can have landing pages and all this. It'd be exactly what you need to build this out. And that's going to give you a good way to identify people by where they are geographically so that you can, you know, if you're doing the Facebook ads or you're doing anything where people can come and download something or click to download or click to join your list or get free music or get anything from you, you'd be able to then say, these are my Santa Monica people, and these are my Santa Barbara people, and these are my
Totally. Yeah.
wherever. That's going to be a valuable piece of this here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's exciting. There's so much kind of potential for thinking outside the box here. Because
Yeah.
you got the goods. You've got the #2 album on the jazz charts right now. So it's not you're not just some hopeful. You're a proven
Right.
you're a proven artist. That's not you know you don't take that lightly, and that's a good thing. But you just need to figure out how to get people on board the Monique train here.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been really successful at like figuring out what that requires.
Right.
It's a lot of just throwing things and seeing what works.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, no, I really hear that.
So let's kind of recap how did all this kind of land, or what did you hear here, or anything that's unclear?
Well, honestly, nothing's unclear. Like
Okay.
I really originally when you were saying, oh, maybe you might want to start with songs that people know and do your little, stylized different arrangement of it. My stomach started to drop a bit. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh no, I want to just
Right.
put my music out.
Right.
But I really heard what you said, and it made sense to me. And I was like, well, what songs are actually interesting to me that are popular right now?
Yeah.
And I even thought jazz songs. I'm like, I'm wondering if that's not even a train I want to get on, because even when you do a new version of a jazz song, it's still an old song.
But what if you did a jazz version of popular songs? That's really what.
Well, that was what was more had more piqued
Yeah,
my curiosity and
that
interest a
there's
bit
some
more. I'm like, oh,
artistry
what
to
songs are
that
out that I
still.
like that I could create
Yeah, you put
my own
your
version of?
Monique goodness into it, right? That's
Yes.
where you're not doing a photocopy of the song, right? You're not doing a note for note like recreation of it. You're not trying to mimic them. You're taking the soul of it and keeping that intact, but putting your novel arrangement to that, your specialness on it. And that's, I think, if you listen to some of those the Boyce Avenue ones, and I point to them only because they are probably the most successful who've done that path. There's a lot of
Yes.
like parallel lessons that you could learn, because who's looking for a band called Boyce Avenue? It's hard to break through with new stuff.
Yeah, no, that was really that's something I took away with it, and I'm like, oh, so it's percolating some ideas, and even when you said Daryl's Place, live from Daryl's Place,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I have a space and musicians I work with. I'm like, oh, what if we just like created something? I also heard the like a Facebook Live of
Yeah.
live performances. Like if I could
Yeah.
just set that up and schedule it properly and adjust it, maybe I could start to get some traction there. And something else. Oh, the piece around targeting specifically the right people in the area that I am. And I also heard like the Santa Barbara piece, or just a piece that's a little further out of like this very concentrated, infiltrated market.
Yes.
So those two pieces sat with me, as well as like I am going to do the Facebook ads on like the specific people, like and I'll do a couple tests with like the younger audience, the older audience,
right, and see who resonates, right? See who's paying attention.
So those are the pieces I took away, and yeah, and then also one of the main like overarching pieces that we really spoke to is, people need to know me, they need to like me, and they need to trust me or trust that they'll enjoy their evening or their experience.
That's exactly true.
And that's powerful. So I'm really looking at, okay, how do I help people know me? How do I help people like me? Like I'll run it through that filter before I put something out.
That's it. Knowing is getting in front of them, and like you, it's easy if you're, it's like trying to get into this ultra exclusive club, and you're trying to come up on your own versus coming up with somebody who's an insider there. Oh, you're with them. That's like, that's what riding. That's what this cover song model really does, is like you're riding in on the coattails of somebody who they already know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
That's why,
that makes
right?
a big case. Yeah, I really get that.
Part of the thing is, if a song is 3 or 4 minutes, and you've got to, if it's a new song, if you jump in somewhere anywhere in that 4 minutes, you don't have any context. It's like all you're seeing is what's being revealed, second by second as you go. But if it's a song that you love and each note and each nuance of it, and then you jump in to the middle of something within 4 or 5 seconds, this is a song you love, and wait a second, this is a different version of that, and you're hooked into it now, and then they're like looking at you as you're singing this song that they really love, and they're going, wow, she's really good. Because now they've got a context for, I love this song, I know how this song is supposed to sound, and she's really singing this song well, different. I like her. Who is this?
Yeah.
Right? Now they go, and now you've got this entree to introduce on that basis. First impressions. That's really what it is,
So you're making me think actually about this show right now, the show I have for the end of the month. I have it that I'm doing only the songs from the album. And so I'm
Mm.
curious about maybe throwing in and possibly even taking out one or two of my own and throwing in some covers, like
Yeah, I
really
think it
nice
might be risky. It's like,
arrangements.
it's like trying to get a kid to eat vegetables or whatever, right? You gotta like give them something they like and that they're familiar with.
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go
That's
down. That's what I've
that's
got.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Okay.
so funny.
All right. So I'm
Well,
going to stay with
Monique,
that
you
too.
are you're delightful. I've enjoyed this.
Thank
I know you
you.
now. I like you. I trust you. I can't wait to meet you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I feel the same. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time too.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. So we'll be I'll let you know when we put up the episode, but where can people go to get to know, like, and trust Monique DeBose right now?
Well, I will say go to MoniqueDebosemusic.com.
Okay, perfect. And that's DeBose. And Monique is Monique,
Mm-hmm.
DeBosemusic.com. Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks so
I
much.
really, I love it. Say hi to Rich for me.
I will. Thank you
Okay.
so much for your time.
I'll
All right.
talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye. And there we have it. Another great episode. And I really enjoyed that conversation because I really like talking about how things can be built from the grassroots up. And I like creative, connective thinking about seeing how you could apply other things like Ozfest or like, partnering with a winery or a vineyard or a particular brand, to engage people who want to meet and reach the same audience that you're reaching. So, non-traditional kind of thinking, but understanding what's actually happening with the art that you're creating. Is that how is the money being made, and how can you align yourself with the goals of the people who are actually underwriting or supporting all of this? So, very fun. If you want to download her music or check her out, I'd recommend going to her website and seeing what she's all about. And she's got some great videos on YouTube too. And there we have it. So if you want to continue the conversation here, you can go to morecheeselesswhiskers.com. You can download a copy of the More Cheese Less Whiskers book. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just click on the Be a Guest link and we can get together and talk about your business. So that's it for this week. Have a great week. I'll talk to you next time.